As of yesterday, Nancy Pelosi announced that some sort of impeachment inquiry would be put into effect. That is not what I personally had expected. I think that few expected her to actually move on this. She'd been so opposed to it in the past. So how exactly did we get to this point? And certainly, how did we get there as quickly as we did? Joining us now to help break it down is Washington Bureau Chief at The Intercept and TYT contributor, Ryan Grim. Welcome to the Damage Report.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Great to have you here. And you recently wrote up an article for The Intercept talking about this path to where Pelosi ended up yesterday. So what do we need to know to understand this?
I mean, the short answer is that primary challenges in a significant way drove the caucus toward this kind of revelation. I mean, it also involved the perfect timing of this Ukraine story, but the caucus was very much poised to explode because of the tensions that were building in it because of all these primary challenges. So Cheri Bustos, chair of the DCCC, recently told the Democratic caucus that there are now more than 110 primary challenges being run around the country of various seriousness. If you look at a typical cycle of just a couple years ago, there might be 2 or 3 challenges. You know, to have more than 100 is wild. And the people that don't have challenges did not necessarily feel safe. You know, there could be people waiting in the wings who are still going to jump in because there's still plenty of time between now and the primaries. And people were, in the very beginning of Congress, people were blaming the squad for anything bad that happened to them back at home or any threat to their seat. They're like, oh, this must be Ocasio-Cortez. You know, this is the movement that she's started is now gonna try to swallow me up. But what they started to realize is that actually it was more of the kind of like the indivisible crowds, the people who got involved in the Women's March and who went door knocking and text banking for the people who were running to flip these like red to blue seats. They were getting really furious at Democrats for their passivity. Like what did we do for the last 2 years? Like why did we put all of this unpaid effort going door to door to give you guys the majority of the House of Representatives so you could sit there and do nothing and let this guy continue to be lawless? And that is what led to a ton of primary challenges around the country. So people were getting fed up. Like what's the point of all this? Why are we now getting challenged just to protect a couple of loud frontline Democrats who are too afraid to impeach Trump?
Yeah, no election is about just one thing, but 2018, it really felt like let us take control of the House and we will hold Trump accountable. And I mean, there had been nothing on impeachment up until this week. We're no closer to tax returns. That was one of the sort of promises that they made. So I can understand that frustration. What I want to know from your point of view, though, is there's a lot of different ways to attempt to impeach Donald Trump. This is not, a vote next Tuesday. This isn't the Judiciary Committee. This isn't a select committee. The way that she did it, this distributed approach, does that to you signal that she is serious about this? Is this a delaying tactic? What do you think?
I think that she is trying to kind of leave open a lot of different possibilities. She clearly is not deeply invested in this process. She's been a vocal opponent of it until yesterday. So it's not like she's been a full convert to now zealously in charge of an impeachment process. I think that she's still working out with her caucus, and with the various chairmen, who's gonna take the lead on this, whether it's gonna be a select committee, whether it's gonna go through the regular committees that are set up. She and Jerry Nadler, who's chairman of the Judiciary Committee, have been at odds for months over this. So there's bad blood there. So even though the Judiciary Committee would be the logical place for this to go, it might not because she's ticked at him and he's ticked at her. So I don't think that she's fully on board for it. But what yesterday showed and what the organizing over the last week in particular showed is that in a lot of ways it doesn't necessarily matter what she wants to do in her heart of hearts. She's going to do what she's forced to do by activists and by her caucus that is being driven by kind of grassroots activists. And also it depends on how the events unfold. This morning Trump puts out this transcript and says, see, look, I'm exonerated. All it says is that I asked him for a favor. I didn't ask him for a quid pro quo. And people are like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you giving us this evidence of your crimes?
Yeah.
You commit so many crimes, you don't even know like how obvious it is that this is evidence of basically a crime. And so, as things move against Trump, then she's going to probably get more excited about it. The more she feels like she's getting political advantage, then she'll move into it further.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.